Okay, so now what we've got here is principally everything prepped. As you can see, there are little blobs of silicon dioxide metal basic driven chemical formats which are your typical Xeon level quality sealant. And over here you see the more traditional style sealant, which is here. Now the bad news is you really don't want to put that on top of this. You really want a nice clean polished processor that has no oils on it, and of course you want your heatsink to be as a functional heatsink as possible as well. So by doing that, you're going to utilize some type of strategy to clean them off, using a razor knife to pull off the base of it and just basically scrape it off. And then we use the 1-2 combination. This is great stuff. It dissolves it out. It's basically an orange extract. It basically loosens the chemical bonds of the remaining amount of heatsink material that's here, the silicon dioxide compounds. This is more like a paste opposed to a liquid over there. This is a pad that goes on and then through heating processes become like what you see here now. So we've got to take that off and clean that up, and also basically do some prep work on this metal to make sure it's ready to have a clean contact with the new silicon dioxide compound. Now here you can see I've applied applicant 1, which is the releasing compound, to clean up the matted material and to start to dissolve its bond. That's kind of like Goo Gone, but for a high-end processor management style administration. You know, people like that who just want that little bit better quality dissolvent to help loosen up the material that they're working with. So with that, as you can see, I continue to push the lubricant over the sticky compound, and it's making the stickiness go away. Now please understand that when you do this, this compound is very dangerous to the human body, and you do not want to make contact with it with human skin. So wear gloves when you're doing this work. Carcinogenic compounds, or cancer-causing compounds, can really give you pause when you're working with this kind of stuff, unless you take the appropriate safety steps in handling it. So you really never want to touch it yourself. You don't pinch this stuff in your hand and play with it, and worse off, you never consume it or get it into your, below your skin by knives and so on, which is a real risk when you're dealing with trying to remove this compound. Using a knife and cleaning the knife helps get some of it out, so you don't have to actually interact with it too much. But the goal is to clear yourself the metal and expose it so it's ready for a new heatsink. Okay, as you can see now, the dissolver did a really decent job, plus a little bit of abrasive contact helps it as well. But you can also make the material more functionalized by adding a thermal surfacer, or basically it's designed to just get all the extremities off of the plated metal that when you removed it. So you put basically a few drops on this. Again, you're using your Q-tips during this time to allow you to spread it equally over the surface area. And again, you don't need much of the higher quality style Xeon based silicon dioxide thermal paste. In this case, it's more like a glue again. It sits there, and that will spread across most of that head, and we don't want it to go down into the sides for the risk of possible circuitry damage. So what we want to do is we want to get the purifiers to just get the last of the residual garbage that is on the surface area. It all becomes bonded with the material, and then that material is then taken off. You see the milkiness there? That's what I'm talking about. Even though you've wiped this down clean with your abrasive polishing cloth or a microfiber cloth or something like that, when you put the purifier on it, you discover that there's still a lot of junk on the actual unit, and again, you want to clean that up. So that's what I'll do next, and I'll polish that one more time before I put it on.